Hi, I'm Sakura Senpai. Here with breaking news from Japan. I was in the middle of making a video about tips for the fastest way to learn Japanese. But I'm taking a break to bring you an update on breaking news about the coronavirus in Japan. I have 3 topics to talk about. 1. Updates about coronavirus in Japan. 2. My own feelings about coronavirus as a Japanese living in Japan. 3. What to do if you wanna visit Japan now. Sakura Senpai Japan. Please subscribe this. いった!Update about coronavirus in Japan. I was really surprised last night breaking news. According to NHK, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has asked all schools in the country to shut down from March 2nd until the start of spring holidays in early April. This will prevent students from catching the coronavirus. Why am I so surprised about this decision? While I know why the government wants to do this policy will have bigger effect on Japanese society. For example, double-income families with young children cannot leave their child home alone, so they will need to find someone who will look after their child, or they will need to stay home from work. In Japan, it is not easy to take time off from work, especially if this will last 1 month. Many people are already wondering what they are going to do and trying to find a solution. Some mayors have started to express honestly confusions about government decisions. Sadly, some school graduation ceremony has also cancelled. It's not just school closing either. Currently in Japan, many events like live shows and concerts have been cancelled or postponed, such as Perfume, Kenshi Yonezu, Gen Hoshino. Japan's biggest stand-up comedy competition will be held without an audience. Can you imagine doing stand-up comedy without an audience reaction? Many sporting events also have been cancelled, postponed, or are being held in empty stadiums. Pro baseball preseason matches are being held with no audience. Some volleyball and tennis matches will also be held with no audience. The Pro Soccer J League, Rugby, and Basketball League have postponed their matches. The Tokyo Marathon is limited to elite runners by invitations only. Regular runners cannot participate this year. Many theme parks and museums have closed. For example, Tokyo Disneyland, Tokyo Disney Sea, Universal Studios Japan, Ghibli Museum, Sanrio Pureland, Tokyo National Museum. The government asked companies to allow employees to work from home or commute in off-peak hours. Because Japanese trains are really packed during peak commute times, believe me, it's awful. Kyoto saw a major decrease in foreign tourists. Japan has a major tourism industry and many World Heritage sites. These sites are also not crowded. This might hurt Japan's economy. Coronavirus has hurt in Japan in other ways too. For example, in Aichi Prefecture, one historical 1950s ryokan went bankrupt because of many cancellations. In Hokkaido, one hospital decided to limit patients to people with emergencies or appointments only. This is because there will be a nurse shortage. Many nurses will need to stay home with their children until school reopens. My own feelings about the coronavirus as a Japanese person living in Japan. I'm scared about the outbreak of coronavirus, but my fear isn't just about the virus. The ripple effect is also scary to me. Of course, every single day, the corona news is the top news in Japan, and many other stories are related to the corona crisis. There are stories about new cases, new prefectures, or stories about people who passed away. At first, I was trying to follow all of these stories, even just tracking how these people got the virus as it spread from person to person. But now I can't follow it anymore because there are too many stories, and I can't keep up with all of the information. Some Japanese people say that Japanese people are too exaggerating and too sensational, but others say we need to be more afraid in order to protect ourselves from outbreak. I'm streaming almost every day on Twitch in English to people around the world. One of my Japanese viewers told me that he canceled the trip to the movie theater. After all, movie theaters are small indoor places packed with people. I understand how he feels. My health is not so strong, so I'm trying not to go to packed places if I don't have important reason. From my point of view, all of Japan is a bit depressed, tired, and feeling tense about this. Japan has many natural disasters. After a disaster, we are also depressed. Every day, we learn more and more about how terrible the situation is on the news. But at least then, after the dust settled, we can begin to rebuild. With Corona, we can't clearly see what will happen next. That's why everyone is feeling anxious. Here's an example of how tense we are feeling. In Kyushu, one subway passenger coughed without wearing a mask. Another passenger, scared about corona, argued with him and pressed the train's emergency button. This stops the train, and both passengers have to get off at the next stop. I'm afraid the more we watch news stories like this, the more anxious we become. Am I being too afraid? Or am I right to be afraid? To be honest, I can't tell which feelings are correct. The Tokyo Olympics are scheduled to start in July, but we don't know what's going on. There are many opinions in Japan about it now. What to do if you wanna visit Japan now? I've heard from my viewers that if you are wearing a mask in other countries, people will think you are sick. But if you come to Japan now, I recommend you wear a mask. Some people say a mask is meaningless to avoid the virus, but I think it's better than nothing. And also, if you have coronavirus, wearing a mask keeps you from spreading it to others. From that angle, it's important to wear a mask. On train, other people feel safe if you wear a mask. In your country, maybe it's not normal to wear a mask, but in Japan, this is really normal thing, even before coronavirus. And also wash your hands with soap many times because handrails, doorknob, everywhere might have coronavirus. Lastly, I'm not a professional. I'm just talking as one Japanese about how I feel right now. If you will visit Japan now, please don't be too afraid and try to collect as much information as possible. For example, NHK World is showing Japanese news in English. Today I talked about Japanese breaking news about coronavirus. Usually, I'm live streaming almost every day on Twitch. I'm talking about Japanese culture, trend, news, anime, etc. So please come visit and talk with me. I just started YouTube, but I'm gonna make this type of video more and more. So I'm glad if you subscribe this channel. And don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for watching. See ya. またね。ありがとうございました。